Wow, I did not realize how much of this game's intro would play on the bottom screen. Maybe I don't leave that in this time. Anyway, the intro took me through a portal to the distortion world. Giratina is on the bottom screen right now. And, of course, it's a new year and a new Randomizer Nuzlocke. I have made it a tradition, I guess, that I start a Randomizer Nuzlocke on New Year's Day each year. Okay, sometimes they're recorded in advance, but releasing on New Year's Day. And I've done 2 of these before. I successfully completed Silver, and then I failed Emerald on the very first episode, so mixed track record so far. We jumped to Platinum. Let's not go through all that again. See if I can get a 50%, above a 50% success rate. Quick overview, it's the same as always. Pokemon are all randomized. Starters, legendaries, gym leader teams, everybody else's teams. They could be anything, any Pokemon at all in this game. Things like moves, abilities, types are not randomized. That's too chaotic for me. At some point, it's so much chaos that I don't really see the fun in it anymore. Catch rates are bumped up a little bit. This will be kind of broken for most of the run, but the trade-off is if I want to... Let's just press start. If I want to, if I run into a broken legendary very early on in the game, I want a chance to actually use it. So that's why catch rates are increased. We'll see if it pays off or not. Standard Nuzlocke rules. So catch the first Pokemon in each area. Nickname every Pokemon. I've not thought about a theme, so that'll be interesting. And then, of course, if a Pokemon faints ever, it is unusable for the rest of the playthrough. That's it. None of the other optional rules. Like, I don't do Dupes Claws. It always feels like cheating to me. I will do Shiny Claws, but it's unlikely to come up. Fixed encounter and interactable Pokemon are always legal, is a decision I've made. So even if I've already caught something in Stark Mountain, say, I can still catch Heatran, or whatever the equivalent encounter is that replaces Heatran. Fixed encounter and gift Pokemon. I'm not sure I said that correctly the first time. And that's about it. This is a challenge playthrough. It's pretty casual Nuzlocke, so I'm not much of a Nuzlocker, but it is a challenge playthrough. It is not one of those playthroughs where I complete the game no matter what, and the Nuzlocke format is just a plot device. In this one, if I fail the challenge, the series is over, as happened in the very first episode in last year's Randomizer Nuzlocke. But in the one before that, I went all the way, so let's see what happens. Anyway, hello there. It's so very nice to meet you. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. Let's go. There's Professor Rowan, of course. Also known as the Pokemon Professor. Every region seems to have someone who's just called that. I'd forgotten that Gen 4 asks you, is this your first adventure? They should do that in newer games and cut down on the tutorials. Although this is just basic do you know the controls stuff, I think. And like, I don't know what this will be. Maybe do you understand the concept of going and challenging gym leaders? But we're not going to find out. No info needed. I've been playing this game since the year it released in the West, and I've been playing Pokemon a good bit longer than that. Alright, I got a Pokeball on the bottom screen. Send out a Pokemon. Buneary. Maybe that was not randomized in this game. I think in some games that would be randomized. But I'm guessing it's always a Buneary. I don't actually remember for sure. It's just a very fitting Pokemon for this. Anyway. Get through this text. Now, traditionally in this playthrough, I name my character after the game version. For no good reason. I think when I started doing this, I just hadn't leaked my real first name quite as many times and wasn't in a rush to. But I'll stick to tradition and name myself Platinum. Why not? I mean, I could always go with Lucas, right? Because that's the default name. Oh, that's funny. The name of the game version is over the character limit. By 1 character. Shall I lock in Platinu as my name? I think I shall. Your name is Platinu? It sure is. What do we call this guy? Probably just Barry, right? I can name him Nolan, or Roy, or Gavin. Those are all funnier options than Barry. Let's name him Roy. Because why not? It's one of the options they give me by default. Alright. And we're off. Well, we watch TV first, right? Pokemon are by our side always. I hope you will understand the meaning of those words. It's challenged a little bit in the next generation, doesn't it? Professor Rowan is just back from Kanto. That concludes our special program. Let's ask Professor Rowan. No Red Gyarados mentioned this game. That's only in Diamond and Pearl. Let's get that text speed up. Battle mode set. Okay, now the text won't be so painfully slow, which is good because here's Roy. Professor Rowan's that really important guy who studies Pokemon, right? And Roy draws my attention to the PC because he's just getting distracted. His attention is all over the place. He's going to fine me $10 million if I'm late, but let's take that tip, and I can't even get a potion from the PC, even though the game specifically drew my attention to it. It's just a trainer tips kind of thing. Now my mom's going to talk to me, which is going to cost me $10 million when Roy finds me. Thanks, Mom. Don't go into the tall grass. Wild Pokemon might attack you. Parts of Sinnoh, of course, are snowier in Platinum than they are in Diamond and Pearl, which is a nice touch. Thud. Here's Roy, always running into me and finding me huge sums of money. Oh, geez. He forgot something. Alright, another $10 million fine if I'm late to meet up with Roy on the road. I am in so much debt, and I just started this game. I don't even have a Pokemon yet. Too slow. And we're going straight to Professor Rowan's lab. I think we want to ask him for Pokemon. And Roy has an idea to get through the tall grass. My mom just told me not to do that, but Roy thinks if we just run really fast, they won't jump out and confront us. We'll get through there before they can. I think that's the opposite of the truth. I think running actually increases the encounter rate, but what does Roy know? We just keep dashing. I don't even have the running shoes yet. But alright, let's dash. Never mind. Hold it! The Starly thing from Diamond and Pearl does not happen in this game. We just get a Pokemon here. Professor Rowan scolds us for being about to go in the tall grass. There are a lot of dots. The world will surely change if they meet Pokemon. Is it right for me to put them on that path? I don't really know what he's thinking about here. It's so standard in this world to give people Pokemon. But okay, in the end, he knows that he's going to start us on a journey that will change our lives. So I guess it's fair to treat that with some weight. It's kind of wise of him. And now Roy, good friend Roy, pointing out that he was the one who had that dumb, reckless plan. And it's okay if he's punished for it, but I shouldn't be punished too. And Professor Rowan, impressed by that. Happy to give us both Pokemon anyway. Here comes Dawn. He's got the briefcase. It was left at the lake, but we didn't go find it first this time. These Pokemon are hard to replace. I wonder what they are. We got some rare Pokemon in that briefcase. I cannot wait to find out. Comes a time when people should meet Pokemon in a world to be explored together. Let's go. Roy is practically a grown-up. He has to show some class, so I get the first choice. Alright, this is the best moment of any randomizer. Let's find out what we can get. Rampardos. I got worried. Did it not randomize when I saw the Turtwig sprite pop up? But it says, the text says, Headbutt Pokemon Rampardos. That's a very funny Pokedex category. That should really be one word, not two. The Headbutt Pokemon. Okay, we got Bronzong. That means if I choose Rampardos, Roy will get Bronzong, which makes Rampardos immediately quite a bit less appealing. Solrock. If I take Bronzong, I have the advantage over Roy's Solrock, but I also am stuck with a Bronzong as my starter. I think maybe I pick Solrock and hope that it can handle the Rampardos. Does Rampardos get... I think Rampardos gets a Dark-type attack early, right? It gets Assurance? Nonetheless, I think Rampardos is the best Pokemon for going through the game as my starter. It's very strong, but it's going to make rival battles a nightmare early on, I think. I think Bronzong is the best for rival battles, but the worst for everything else. So we're going to go the middle ground and pick Solrock here. Then I choose you. I'm picking this one. Wow, he said the thing. He said, I choose you. Of course, the challenge doesn't start until I have Pokeballs, so if I battle Roy right now and lose, the series is not yet over. But there's another Roy battle coming up a little later, still before the first gym. Anyway. Then one thing to do, right? Let's battle. Botanist Roy. I did also scramble the trainer classes because that's always a little bit funny. Can you imagine this guy being a botanist? Alright, I have Tackle, Harden, and Confusion. Thankfully, I have something to hit this. Although, I think Solrock's special attack stat is not very good, right? Maybe I just lose to Headbutt. Anyway, no, okay. Solrock is, I think, reasonably physically bulky. More importantly, it resists the Headbutt. We also outspeed Rampardos. Rampardos is kind of a silly Pokemon. It has an absurd attack stat for this generation, but all of its other stats are kind of bad. It would have been a lot of fun to play through the game with, but I did not want to be facing a Bronzong in this battle, and more importantly, the next Roy battle when I can actually lose the challenge. But okay, we're good. I've not had an opportunity to nickname Solrock, right? I haven't messed that up, I don't think that happens until the lab. What am I going to do for nicknames? I have an idea. I don't know. I have a theme idea. I don't know if it'll last all the way through the whole game, but we'll see. Oh, that Rampardos gives me a lot of experience, too. Let's go. Solrock is already at level 7. Whew, let's go. I'm beat after that battle. I'm not. My Solrock and I are doing just fine. Imagine a kid from Twin Leaf Town, no experience training Pokemon. This is what he gets as a starter. Kind of weird and creepy, huh? Well, I actually do think Lunatone is kind of a creepy Pokemon design. It's mostly the red eyes. Solrock, not so much. It's just a mysterious space thing. But still kind of an odd choice for this kid's first Pokemon, isn't it? Although Rampardos and Bronzong would not exactly be normal choices. Alright, I got the running shoes. That's a big relief. I accidentally got my mom to tell me the instructions twice. But now, off we go. And this is not a revisited series. I don't have to talk to everyone. Roy's just outside of town, isn't he? He's not in his house. Misremembered that. Here he is. We're gonna go to Professor Rowan, thank him properly, but first, Roy has heard that there's a legendary Pokemon at Lake Verity, so to impress Professor Rowan, let's go catch it. Look at him run. I'm striding with purpose here with these running shoes, and Roy's just like a cartoon character. Pitter patter, pitter patter. Oh, he said that the sign says there's a legendary. We'll find out about that. Anyway, I don't think we're going to find a legendary. Instead, we find a mysterious 20-something-year-old man. Cyrus's age is a little bit unbelievable, huh? The flowing time, the expanding space. I will make it all mine one day. Cyrus is my name. Remember it. Okay, he's talking to Mesprit, not to us, but... There we go, establishing this guy immediately, and so that something's kind of odd about him. Hopefully we'll see him again. Find out what's going on. Ooh, Mesprit Cry. What was that? Was that the legendary Pokemon? I think it was. Was it reacting to Cyrus? Not just ignoring him at this early stage in his arc? And we don't have any Pokeballs. You know. Pokeballs. P-O-K accent E balls. We can't catch Mesprit without any of those. Guess we'll go to the lab empty-handed. I'll be back, hopefully. Lake Faraday ahead. According to legend, this lake is home to the Pokemon said to be the being of emotion. There we go. I can't catch anything yet, as we just established, but maybe I'll find out some of the encounters on this route as I go through here. Oh, I tried to dodge that guy, and he stepped straight back into my path. I could get a Fearow, potentially, as my first encounter. I mean, that kind of complements my Solrock, right? It's not a great Pokemon, but it could be helpful. I can talk to this person to get a potion. Nidorina. I think there are only 2 encounters on this route, right? Bidoof and Starly. So for this randomizer, they're Fearow and Nidorina. Either one would be good. Either one would help Solrock deal with grass types. Okay, got a potion. And off we go. Thud. Old guy's not so scary so much as totally... okay, sure. I don't know what you're saying. Roy. I've made my Pokemon evolve already, he says that. Wait, that's probably dialogue if you show him a Grotle, Monferno, and or Prinplup, right? Wait, that's kind of interesting. Because of course Solrock hasn't evolved and doesn't evolve. It's a single stage Pokemon. So did the game just check that... What did the game check there? Did it check, is this Pokemon fully evolved? Probably not, because then he wouldn't say that if you showed him a level 14 Monferno. Did it check... is this Pokemon not a basic Pokemon in the sense that... in like the TCG sense? I think Solrock would be a basic Pokemon in the TCG sense. Is this Pokemon not at... I'm trying to think of how to word this logically. The Pokemon that I showed to Professor Rowan, is it at the first stage of its evolution line with room to evolve further? Yes or no? Is the game checking something like that? Because he just said my Pokemon evolved. Trusting me with that Solrock was no mistake. Well, happy to accidentally impress you. Alright, Solrock's name is Sunny. It's pretty generic, but it's my starter. It's okay. I'm not sure how long this theme will hold up, though. Maybe I'll have to do something else later. If you weren't kind toward Pokemon, I'd have to... Oh, I just can't say it. What do you think Dawn would do to me if I weren't kind to Pokemon? I'd be in danger, I think. Solrock is also an interesting starter. Actually, this applies for all 3 starters, because they're all rock or steel types, because there are going to be a ton of normal types, right? Normal is the second most common type in the game. That said, water is number 1, so Solrock is also going to be interesting in a different way when I start running into a lot of water types. But also, a lot of Pokemon are, you know, they have like Tackle and Peck and Quick Attack and stuff at Pound and Scratch at low levels. So Solrock could be very, very strong in the early game. Anyway, got the Pokedex. Rampardos would have been very interesting, but again, I would have been very afraid of Roy. Professor Rowan has lived 60 long years, and Pokemon are still exciting to him. That's good. Dawn says the Pokemon that she met for the first time was a Chimchar. I would not bet that... I was not given the option to choose Chimchar, and I would not bet that she has one the rare time we see her battle. I wonder whether she'll have a Bronzong. My guess is probably not, but I don't know. And off we go. Oh, Platinu! Well, I just talked to you. What are you doing, Rowan? Okay, he gives me a TM. I guess he forgot to do that a moment ago. I think it's return. Yep. Okay. Thanks, Professor. I didn't know the Professor had TMs. It's really not that crazy to have TMs, is it? Of course, this is still a generation where they're single use and often not the easiest to come by. Pokemon Center. Thankfully, in this game, she doesn't make me go in and actually use it as part of the tutorial. I can speed through this a little bit more. Since I'm a novice, I won't be able to buy a lot of merchandise at the mart. And then this game forces you to go back and talk to Mom, which I have sometimes forgotten to do in a playthrough, and then been annoyed when I'm not really clear on why Dawn won't show me how to catch Pokemon. But this is why. I don't know why the game forces you to do this. Maybe Game Freak thought it was a nice, respectful thing to promote in the kids or something. It could just be like a cultural thing, right? Although in a lot of games you don't have to do something like this. You don't go off on a life-changing journey without talking to your mom, letting her know what's going on. Of course, in the Johto games, you're told to do this. Oh, wait, right, it's get the journal and then deliver, I think, a town map to Roy. That's probably why. In the Johto games, you're given an optional prompt to do this. And then if you don't, your mother calls you when you're like midway to Violet City and is annoyed that you didn't tell her. Yeah, okay, this is so that Roy's mom will give me 2 town maps so I can deliver one to Roy. The more I think about this nickname theme, the less I like it. Oh well. Nuzlocke rules are still not on, but Dawn is giving me Pokeballs very soon. If anything I encounter right now doesn't count, it'll be Fearow or Nidorina. I think those are the only things I can encounter here. I wonder where you get a Moonstone in this game. I might have another idea for what to do with this nickname theme. We'll cross that bridge if we come to it. Time to get the catching tutorial. I did have an option to randomize this, and I selected it. Let's see what Dawn catches. A Phanpy, that's cute. That's a really nice Phanpy sprite, which you don't see too often, because Phanpy is not a typical Sinnoh encounter. Dawn does have a Chimchar. She did not get a Bronzong, unfortunate for her. Now, I don't know whether this means that I'll be able to catch Phanpy on this route. I actually suspect not, because I ticked a box to randomize the catching tutorial. I think I can reasonably guess that that means it's not a standard encounter on this route, or at least it has a very good chance not to be. But I don't know for sure. Anyway, Dawn was just slowly selecting a Pokeball to make really sure that I see how to do it. Giggle. See? Isn't it neat? Alright. 5 Pokeballs. Let's go. And I can get a few encounters already. I can do Route 201, Route 202, and Lake Verity before I have to battle another trainer. First thing I'm going to do actually is go to the mart. I should be able to buy more Pokeballs. I don't know if I'll need them because catch rates are increased. Might depend to an extent on what I encounter, but let's go ahead and buy 10 more Pokeballs. That costs most of the money I have right now. I also got to get a Premier Ball. And it's time to get the first encounter of the run. Okay, I guess there was a third encounter available here. And it's Dusknoir. Dusknoir is a very bulky Pokemon, so it should take this confusion reasonably well. Yep. And it disables my confusion, so I have nothing more to weaken it. Let's see if those buffed catch rates come through for me here. What is the third thing you can find on this route in base Platinum? Bidoof, Starly, and what? Budew or something? Kricketot, maybe? I don't know. Sable and Leer. Does this have an attack? If it knocks Sunny out, then I fail the run already. Which would be pretty embarrassing. Maybe I would scrap this and not tell you what happened. Bind. Okay, Bind is fine. I mean, Bind is actually not great because I can't flee if Sunny is bound, and I can't damage this thing as long as Confusion is disabled. Okay, but it does 1 damage from the actual attack. The residual damage I think will be more. Oh, no, it's also 1. Can I use Confusion yet? No. Okay. Well, Dusknoir should also be a very good early game Pokemon for the same reason as Rock types in general, so I hope I can catch this. That only shook twice. Good news is, Sunny is taking damage very slowly, even after those Leers. Bad news is still disabled. Good thing I bought balls. Got it. Okay. It is said to take lost spirits into its pliant body and guide them home. Alright, second member of the team is Cloudy. Let's take a look. Cloudy is at level 3, but should be able to be trained pretty easily considering the ghost typing. Pressure is a nice ability. Oh! He has Nightshade. Glad I never used that in that other battle. But that could come in handy for sure. Or in the wild battle, I mean. Also, if Roy's Rampardos only has Headbutt for an attack so far, then Cloudy hard counters it. We'll see. Let's get a Lake Verity encounter next. Might as well do it now, right? There'll be higher level Pokemon available here later, but best to just get a bunch of encounters early, I think. Dodrio, that's not a bad one. Growl, but we'll just bind it. Missed. Quick attack is fine, it doesn't affect Cloudy. Honestly, I'll take the residual damage and just throw a ball right now. Okay. Fair enough, I barely weakened it. It does no peck. But it only does 1 damage. Let's weaken it some more. Okay, we've seen all its moves now. Growl, Peck, Rage, and Quick Attack. So only one of those is even conceivably a problem. And it does 1 damage. Alright, now let's ideally catch this thing. I have a fun idea for the nicknames. I know it looks like a pretty bland theme right now, but oh! Okay, that did 3 damage. That means Cloudy could drop to a crit now, so let's switch. I know it looks like a very bland theme right now, but I'm still cooking it in the back of my mind. I do have a fun idea. It'll take more than 1 episode to show, so let's hope we get more than 1 episode. And hope I don't run out of balls, because I would like to catch this. Yes, it's a level 2, but it's a Dodrio. Pretty strong. Maybe I didn't increase catch rates enough. Do you think I could actually catch a legendary if I encounter one right now? Maybe Dialga or Palkia, because they have those buffed catch rates so that the story works. Okay, got it. I'm running low on balls already. I actually think I'll buy more on the way back through Sandgem Town. When Doduo evolves into this odd breed, one of its heads splits into two. Okay, interesting. It runs at nearly 40 miles per hour. So one head splits and the other one doesn't. But they're the same size and everything. Okay. Why not? This is Windy. We know all of Windy's moves already. What is Windy's ability? Run away. Oh, okay. Well, that's a convenient Pokemon to have in the lead spot then. We can switch train. Let's just go back through Sandgem Town, heal the new catches, buy some more balls, and then Route 202 encounter immediately. There's another Duskmaw. Huh. I've encountered 2 of these, 2 Nidorina, and 1 Fearow. So I think Fearow replaced whatever is the 3rd encounter I'm not thinking of. Can you get Shinx on this route? Maybe. Wow, I got an encounter, but I tried to just dash through. I tried to just dash through, but I got an encounter anyway. That's the right way to say that. Not a bad Dodrio back sprite, by the way. You can kind of see the different personalities of all 3 heads. Got a nice sort of dynamic pose. Alright, good start to the run, but of course much more to do. Let's just buy all the balls I can afford, which is 7 more. Okay. I have only $100 left. I hope Roy doesn't find me. Now, Route 202 encounter. Nailed Nidoran. Okay. I didn't get a Nidorina. I'm happy to train this. I'm actually gonna switch to Cloudy. It shouldn't have anything to hit Cloudy. Oh, and it's Peck. Well, that doesn't do very much at least. Let's go for a Nightshade. It'll of course do 3 damage. Unlike Dodrio, this Target is not immune to it. It's pretty slow damage, but at least it's, you know, more controlled than Bind. I can probably just catch it right now. Finally, an unevolved Pokemon. Hopefully easy to catch. Wonder where you get a Moonstone in this game. Of course, Nidoran evolves into Nidorino at like level 16, right? It's pretty early. I don't know if there are early Moonstones here like there are in Gen 1. It scans its surroundings by raising its ears out of the grass. Its toxic horn is for protection. What fits? You can be snowy. We're in Sinnoh. Everything's snowy out here. Snowy's at level 4. Adamant Nature. That's pretty good. Rivalry. That's a good thing to remember. And actually only has an attack that hits ghost types, as he knows Leer and Peck. Let's give him a heal. Then we can go through Route 2 and do our first trainer battles. Already with 4 Pokemon, and a couple of them should be really, really good for early game trainer battles. Although, in a randomizer, you never know. And I I can lead with my Pokemon with Run Away, so I don't have to worry about wild Pokemon knocking my stuff out. Could have gotten a Kadabra. That could have been very strong. Of course, illegal now. You're a Pokemon trainer, and so am I. Our eyes met, so battle we must. Nothing dramatic about that, huh? Biker Joey. Perfect first opponent. Do you think this knows Dragon Rage at level 5? I hope not. It might know Bite, though, so I'm not going to switch to Cloudy. I guess I'll just switch to Sunny. Okay, regular Rage is fine. It's just Dragon Rage that I'm afraid of. Okay, good damage. It does no Bite. That crits and knocks out my starter immediately. I think the run might be cooked. Well, let's see. Okay, its Rage is gonna build. Can I get away with another peck? Maybe I should be going for Leer first. They get the flinch. Alright, don't use Bite. Don't use Bite. Good. Bind. Residual damage could really come in handy here. Chat, I think I'm about to lose on the very... Chat, this isn't a stream. Folks, viewers, I think I'm about to lose on the very first non-rival trainer battle. I.e. the very first trainer battle since the start of the run. Speeds. Alright. Snowy, you're my only hope. I don't know if you can save this, but you're the only one who conceivably can. I have one potion. This Bagon just does too much damage. Live on 1. Crit. Okay. Throw. Throw. Don't use an attack. I don't know if it can not use an attack. I think it's used attacks the whole time. Throw. No throw. So close. Alright, we got a new worst Nuzlocke on the channel. That was the Platinum Randomizer. That was so rough. I might think about a second attempt because, oh my god. That was about as short as a Nuzlocke can be. But rules are rules. I said if I fail the challenge, the series is over. I'm going to think about whether there's something else I want to do. Because that is now back-to-back randomizers. I mean, at least in Emerald I made it to the first gym, right? I lost to Roxanne. But rules are rules, so that was the series. Goodbye. Oh, and for the nickname theme, I was brainstorming other possible meanings of Sunny, so that at different points in the run I could use different themes that all tie into the starter. So, like, maybe for one portion I would name my Pokemon after characters from a series of unfortunate events. Maybe for one portion I would name them after kinds of glasses, as in Sunny, sunglasses. I'd have to look up other kinds. I don't even wear glasses. I had another one. Oh, a Sunny disposition. I could do moods and temperaments. And then I was gonna see if I could do some Googling to come up with anything else. That was the idea, but yeah, GG.